Remember the sound of metal keys clacking in quick bursts, the crisp smell of fresh paper, and that cheerful little ding telling you it's time to slide the carriage back? For decades, that sound was the heartbeat of offices, classrooms, and newsrooms all across America. The typewriter wasn't just a tool, it was a partner in creativity, a gateway to opportunity, and for many, the first step into the working world. Before computers and smartphones took over our desks, this machine shaped how America worked, communicated, and even dreamed. To truly understand its magic, we need to step back in time, to the golden age of the typewriter. By the early 20th century, the typewriter had found its place in nearly every corner of American life. In bustling city offices, you could hear the rhythmic tap-tap-tap echoing down long hallways. In small-town newspapers, reporters hunched over their machines, pounding out stories that would hit the front page by morning. And in homes across the country, kids practiced their typing for school, while parents worked on resumes, letters, or even the occasional short story. Brands like Underwood, Smith Corona, and Royal became household names, their logos stamped proudly on glossy advertisements in magazines. A sturdy typewriter wasn't just a piece of equipment, it was an investment, a sign that you were serious about your work. And for employers, hiring someone who could type 60 words per minute without looking at the keys was like striking gold. The typewriter didn't just speed up communication, it changed the way people thought about writing. Words flowed differently when each keystroke felt deliberate, permanent, and satisfying. And in those days, every typed page carried with it the faint smell of ink and the faint hum of possibility. But the story of the typewriter isn't just about the machine, it's about the culture it created. If you grew up in the 1950s, 60s, or 70s, chances are you remember your school's typing class. Rows of students sat behind identical machines, fingers poised on the home row, eyes fixed forward as the teacher called out letters and words. There was no backspace key to instantly erase mistakes. You had to slow down, focus, and get it right the first time. In offices, typing wasn't just a skill, it was a competitive edge. Workers measured themselves in words per minute, and companies often held friendly competitions to see who could type the fastest without errors. In newsrooms, the sound of dozens of typewriters hammering away created its own kind of music, a steady, urgent rhythm that seemed to echo the heartbeat of the news itself. Perhaps most importantly, the typewriter opened doors for women entering the workforce. Secretarial schools across the country trained thousands of women, offering a pathway to stable office jobs at a time when professional opportunities were limited. For many, the typewriter was more than a tool. It was a ticket to independence, a way to carve out a place in a rapidly modernizing world. But as with all great inventions, the typewriter didn't stay the same forever. A new technological leap was on the horizon, one that would transform the way America typed and change offices, classrooms, and homes forever. In the early 1960s, a quiet revolution was underway. Desks, once dominated by clunky, mechanical typewriters, began to give way to something sleeker, faster, and quieter. The star of this new era? The IBM Selectric. Its distinctive golf ball-type element replaced individual keys, transforming typing from a relentless mechanical clatter into a smoother, almost graceful dance. Mistakes could be fixed in seconds, fonts could change with a twist of a dial, and the hours spent pounding keys felt lighter. By the late 1970s and early 80s, the next evolution arrived, the word processor. At first glance, it resembled a typewriter, but it had something the old machines could never dream of: memory. You could type, edit, and print without retyping entire pages. Offices that had once echoed with the rhythmic thrum of typewriters began to grow quieter, filled instead with the soft, almost meditative hum of these new machines. Then came the personal computer. By the mid-1980s, software like WordPerfect and later Microsoft Word put the power of drafting, revising, and formatting in the hands of anyone with a keyboard. Typing was no longer a labor of persistence, it became a creative flow. And with that, the century-old typewriter, once the heartbeat of offices, schools, and homes across America, began its gentle fade into history. Yet the memories linger, the clack of keys, the smell of fresh ink ribbons, the satisfying ding at the end of a line. For those who lived through it, the typewriter wasn't just a tool, it was a companion, a symbol of work, creativity and connection in a pre-digital world. Even though computers have mostly replaced typewriters, these machines never truly vanished. Some writers still swear by them, drawn to the tactile rhythm of each keystroke and the deliberate pace that screens can never replicate. Without email alerts, social media pings, or pop-up notifications, a kind of quiet emerges. A quiet that sparks focus, reflection, and creativity. Vintage typewriters have also found new lives as collectibles, conversation pieces, and decor. You might spot one in a cozy coffee shop, a book-themed restaurant, or a home office where it quietly makes a statement. For older generations, they are a bridge to the past. For younger ones, a fascinating relic from a time when writing was intentional, thoughtful, and slower. There's something profoundly personal about a typewritten page. The slight unevenness of each letter, faint ink smudges, and subtle indentations remind us that someone's hands shaped every word. That warmth, that human touch, is something digital text, perfect, flawless, and instantaneous, rarely captures. Technology will continue to evolve, but the typewriter's place in American history is secure, as a symbol of craft, creativity, and a time when every word truly mattered. The typewriter may belong to the past, but it's far from forgotten. It tells a story of progress, of the people who adapted to change, and of the tools that shaped an entire nation's way of working and communicating. In a world where technology evolves at lightning speed, it's worth remembering that every innovation stands on the shoulders of what came before. So, the next time you spot an old typewriter at a flea market, in a bookstore, or tucked away in your grandparents' attic, take a moment, press a key, feel the weight, hear the click, and imagine all the letters, love notes, and stories it once carried. What about you? Did you ever use a typewriter or watch someone you love tap away at one? Share your memories in the comments. We'd love to hear them. And if this trip down memory lane brought back some nostalgia, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell so you won't miss our next journey into the objects and technologies that shaped our lives.